Hey YouTube, it's Elliot. Whoa. I asked you in my Instagram story if you had any questions for this week's video that I could answer on this week's video. And you did. You had a lot. You had a heap of questions. A real solid amount of questions. So I'm going to get through as many as I can in today's video. So let's get right into it. I'm going to answer all your questions about design and me and everything else that you asked. All right, ask away, baby. A big thank you to ReadyMag for sponsoring today's video. Stick around to the end to find out how you can get a sweet discount on your first studio plan. So if you don't know me, I'm Elliot, also known as Elliot is a cool guy on a lot of the social media platforms out there. I do a mix of design and comedy and all of my stuff. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time, all of us. It's just the best. I'm hopefully going to have some good advice for you for some of these graphic design related questions or some good insights into the world of Elliot is a cool guy. I also don't know, I'm not the Bible of graphic design. Let me be very clear on that. I have interesting ways of doing things and interesting experiences, so hopefully it all works out in the end. So let's get into the first question. I want to learn design. How do I start? Great first question. I'm self-taught, so I didn't go to school or anything like that for design. I did a little bit of Photoshop stuff in high school and then kind of like got the free trial on the family computer and started like clicking away at some, vintage wallpaper tutorials and all that to kind of learn some basic techniques and stuff like that. So I would say that if you want to get started in design, the best way I would think is to just start kind of like working with the programs, right? If you want to have a crack at Adobe, there are free trials for those. Canva is a free option, Affinity. There's heaps of options that you can get started based on like kind of what you're looking to do. But I would say that there's plenty of tutorials out there on YouTube, and if you kind of like dive straight into the deep end and you go in like, I can't really name any YouTube tutorials because it's been so the one channel that I used to watch now, like they deactivated their account or something. Real shame. But I would find a YouTube video, like, I'd always jump into like intermediate, right? Like this is a thing that I think might help. Kind of like challenging yourself at the beginning and doing some trickier tutorials. And you might not really know what you're doing and what each tool is for and stuff like that. But the end product will kind of work. And the more you do of it, you'll kind of start learning what each tool does and you'll learn what each technique does and all that without like being walked through it, I guess. So I think challenge yourself a little bit with some of those harder tutorials, and I think you can get a real good kind of head start. Also, I would say try and surround yourself with as much design as possible. I think since I didn't go to school or anything like that for design, a lot of the stuff that I learned came from just absorbing as much design as possible. So get on the graphic design side of Instagram, get on the graphic design side of TikTok, stay on the graphic design side of YouTube, and you'll start absorbing more and it'll really help you kind of develop your ideas. Should you go to university or college if you want a job in graphic design? I definitely think that's an easy way to get a job in graphic design. I think especially here in Sydney, doing that like 3-year degree or 4-year degree, whatever it is, would have probably left me with an internship or a junior position at the end, considering kind of like the skill level I would have gone into uni with. But it's definitely not necessary. Definitely not necessary. There are plenty of paths these days that you can take to make your own kind of career out of graphic design. Social media, of course, being one of them that I didn't really think was an option until recently. So yeah, clients are always looking for new people, new work. Word of mouth is a super powerful tool. But yeah, university and college, they're not for everyone. If they work for you, then 100% go for it. But they're not for everyone, right? I've had a lot of negative experience, a lot of positive experiences. It really depends on who you are and which place you go to. But yeah, I'm self-taught, baby, yeah. How did you find your style and how can I differentiate myself from a very saturated market? Now, I think when it comes to like finding your style and all that stuff, I've got a lot of questions about this, like a real bunch of questions. I think it was the number one kind of question asking about like how to find your style and all that. When I look at my work, I don't really see a style, right? I don't think I'm not an amazing graphic designer. I'm just, I think the writing kind of carries my work if anything. But yeah, when it comes to finding your style, I think it's just doing what you enjoy. right? If you find certain colors enjoyable to work with, if you find certain fonts enjoyable to use, then use them, right? Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Yeah, just go for it. And eventually you'll kind of start experimenting with the things that you like and the things that you already have fun with, and you'll have more fun going further down and creating wackier stuff, yeah? So I don't think worry about finding a style. It'll take years to do it if you want to call it a style anyway. But yeah, I think just always come back to like, am I having fun with this, or am I doing this to get more likes? Am I doing this to please someone else? Do it to please yourself, yeah? See, you know, have a bit of fun with it, and you'll kind of see how your confidence builds in your own work, and you'll also notice how much your work will change to just something that you really can look at and say you're proud of. And in terms of differentiating yourself from like a saturated market, don't worry about that as well. Like, originality's dead. No one's going to be making original designs these days. Who cares? Just like have a good time, have fun, and don't think of it as a competition, right? Never get stuck in the idea that graphic design is a competition, because it's a very collaborative thing, and we should be helping each other out. So don't worry about competing with other people and stuff. Just do your best, do what you can, and you'll see what happens. How do you feel about graphic designers hating on Arial and Comic Sans for pretty much no reason? I hate it. I hate it because there's like a few certain, you know, design humor kind of accounts that have taught us to hate these things, I feel, right? Like, some of the Comic Sans is bad joke, like, dates for decades, right? This thing's been around for ages, apparently. The Comic Sans is bad. And I just think it's such a boring way to look at things, yeah? Like, if you think Arial is a bad font and Comic Sans is a bad font and you're never going to touch them, then like, what are you going to touch, right? Like, you're just going to stick to your favorite fonts and kind of just, you know, do the same rotation stuff, and you won't want to experiment as much. And I think whenever I work with Comic Sans in some of my designs, ironically, but also to kind of appreciate it, it's a lot of fun. It's a challenge, and I think a true designer will be able to work with whatever they're given. And if you get given fonts that you don't think are great, then you should be able to find a way to have fun with them and kind of reinvent them, right? Arial is sick. Arial Narrow is sicker, right? These are cool fonts. And I think people should be more willing to use them. I think the design humor industry is just a joke right now anyway. It's being dominated by designers humor who is telling people to hate Canva and all this stuff. And it's just bad, right? It's just really bad. It's very negative and very like self-deprecating as well. So yeah, I think just like when, you know, hating on Comic Sans is a joke and all that is just silly. It's very, very silly. So yeah, I did a poll actually on my YouTube. I did a poll asking if people thought it was a bad font or not. And the results were like 2/3 thought it was a good font. Who would have thought? Thanks guys, you were the ones who voted for that. I was expecting very different, so proud of you. How do you design for clients who have a very different vision than you? Very good question, and this is a tricky one, right? Because we've all been there. We've always sent our work, and then the client's been like, "Oh, it's not really what I was looking for." And you're like, "Well, what were you looking for? You didn't tell me what you wanted." They're like, "Oh, it's just we'll figure it out as we go along, right?" Whatever. I think the easiest way to get around this is to kind of like work with the client and suggest that the job is more of a collaboration rather than just following like a brief or following an order. Yeah, like it should feel collaborative. And I think even though they're paying you and you're not really giving them anything apart from a design, what you should try to do, and it takes this took me a long time to get it. It's still hard to do. But if you genuinely think that the client's advice is wrong and they say something like, hey, like this isn't really what we wanted, I don't get it, or whatever, then talk to them about it. Yeah, discuss that with them, see what they, at least parts of it that they liked, or kind of go like, hey, I'm the designer here, like put some trust in me, put some faith that I know what I'm doing here, and let's work together to figure out a solution that we're both happy with, rather than just being told to scrap it all, right? They're never gonna kind of have the same vision as you. It's very rare that you kind of make a design and they're just like, oh my God, it's exactly what I was looking for. You wanna make something that, you know, is like, gets people thinking, you know, gets people questioning things. So try and get the client to trust you and try and work on your relationship as more of a collaboration rather than just the job. What other career path would you be doing now if you weren't doing graphic design? Well, I love comedy and I'd love to keep doing comedy. And I don't think graphic design is really what I want to do forever, which is kind of why I've started streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I mean, if you've watched my Twitch stream, you'll know that the majority of it is kind of like talking rather than actually doing any design, which is nothing wrong with that. It's very entertaining. I swear. The link is in the description. I think, yeah, I like the kind of presenting side of the graphic design stuff that I do. So yeah, comedy or like acting. I was a theater kid and I'd love to do more acting in the future. And that's kind of like what I really want to push to do eventually. But graphic design's fun and I have always loved it. But yeah, that's kind of like, yeah, where my head's at in terms of the future. I don't really know. We're vibing it. Do you have a stable job or do you freelance? I freelance in terms of graphic design work. And then I also, I mean, most of my work doesn't really come from clients either. It comes a lot from what I like to call viewer generosity, such as my Twitch stream and my Patreon, and YouTube ad revenue now is a thing. But I also get a lot of sponsored stuff on Twitch and YouTube now too. Thank God bless my sponsors. But that's pretty cool. And then I also coach theater sports, which is like improv. If it was, it's like improvised scene stuff. I teach that at my old high school, which I really like to do, and that's fun. So yeah, I do have like a few like kind of side stable stuff. I also sell tickets at a theater, and I occasionally do stuff. It's fun. I like not just doing freelance. It's actually quite nice having a boss sometimes that's not yourself. It's really, really refreshing. Snog, marry, avoid for Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. Snog. Jesus, that's like a British thing, isn't it? Snogging. Snog, marry, avoid. That's silly. I love it. I think I would snog Photoshop. No, I would snog InDesign. I think I would snog InDesign. And I say that because like I can appreciate InDesign, right? Like it's got a lot of tools that are good in it, you know, like a lot of helpful things that I think are worth the snog. I would marry Photoshop, my one and only, absolutely, well and truly. And then I would avoid Illustrator. And I honestly think this video gets dislikes. Like my videos get dislikes because I don't use Illustrator. I think people are so passionate about Illustrator that they dislike the video. But that's okay. I would avoid Illustrator as nothing would change in my life. I already avoid it. Speaking of liking the video, if you got to this point in the video, how about you smash that bloody like button and you subscribe to me, all right? Why not? Why not? Who's it hurting? No one. It makes the number go up, and that's fun. And maybe you want to hit that little ring bell, a little notification bell if you want to. Enough of that. What are the fonts that you use for your designs? Great question. I use a heap, like 3. So I pretty much use all of the Pangram fonts. If you don't know who they are, Pangram Foundry, absolutely beautiful work. My favorite from them would be Neue Montreal, Agrandia, and Editorial New. Love using those. I love BrushScript as a nice kind of like script font. Makes it feel a bit retro, cartoony, bit of fun. And then Nautica is my new favorite script font that I've seen out there. Works beautifully in combination with a few other fonts that I use. So I can highly recommend checking out Nautica if you haven't. That's on Adobe Fonts. But yeah, Pangram is kind of like mine. I love them. We chat sometimes, very rarely. Any tips for getting started on streaming or YouTube? I'm having trouble content-wise. Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially graphic designers, don't really see what they can do like on those platforms, right? And when I started thinking about YouTube in like December last year, I had one video idea, and that was like the whole freelance. What my life was, how I got to where I am today kind of thing. And I filmed it, and then I hated it, and then I never edited it until I started making videos on my Patreon, and then I got used to the habit of editing and filming, and also could afford an editor now. So, you know, it kind of made it a lot easier. Shout out to my editor, Teagues. I know you're watching this. I know you're watching this because you're my editor. You have to. I'm paying you to watch this. But yeah, I think people enjoy watching other people design, right? Design is and like art and stuff like that is a very like people, you know, cage themselves away and design in private and they don't tell anyone their techniques and all that. It's very, I got to keep my secrets, otherwise people will copy me. And I've talked to people, like really talented designers, and they're like, what do you think about Twitch streaming? And I'm like, it's awesome. What do you think? And they're like, I don't want to get my stuff stolen. And I'm like, you're not. Who cares if it does? Like, get over, like, thinking your work is like no one is so precious. No one can touch it. Who cares? Who cares? You're the one who did it first. That's all that matters. People will notice that. But yeah, I think people just really enjoy watching people design. Yeah. My design with Elliot video, the first one, got like 70k views in a week. And I couldn't believe it. It makes no sense to me, right? Like that my second video, and it's literally just me designing for 25 minutes, could do so well. And that's kind of like what I want this channel to be in the future, right? Just a lot of design with Elliot kind of style videos because it's fun. So I think people just enjoy the process of it. So if you can give yourself a cheeky little challenge, kind of like what Kel Lauren does. Obviously, if you don't know Kel Lauren, then what the hell are you doing here? But Kel does like a lot of those redesign things, and those are really entertaining to watch because you can kind of get into someone's head and you think like, oh, like, this is how they think of this and this is how they do this. And then like I wouldn't have discovered the warp tool in Photoshop if it wasn't for a Kel Lauren video, right? And now I use that in like every single thing that I do. So I think just, making content that shows your practice, your thought process is really enjoyable to watch and people love it. And doing it on Twitch just means that you get a real like strong connection with your audience and you can kind of build a community a lot easier. Getting in front of the camera is a whole different story, and I think that takes a lot to kind of warm into. I did this easily because I've been performing my whole life and it feels very natural. But what I would say is, like, if you have an Instagram page, for example, and you have a few followers, like 1,000 plus or whatever, you've been working on your page for a while, then go live, right? Go live on your Instagram page, start talking to those people, start interacting with some of your community, and kind of just see how they go, right? See what people think, see if they like it, and then if you like it, take it to the next level, go over to Twitch, go over to YouTube, get started. How are you coping in lockdown? Oh, very sweet question. I'm doing okay. I've got the online community, which is nice, and starting a YouTube channel and like really kicking off a Twitch stream has been great. I'm in Sydney, by the way, if anyone's wondering, which is why we're in lockdown, obviously. And things are opening up soon, which is sick too. But I'm double vaxxed, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm quite far away from my family, which is interesting. I haven't seen them for a little while because I can't, because we're not in the 5K radius. But that's okay. You know, it'll all open up soon and everything will be fine. Just kind of like ticking past the days. You know, it is what it is. What's the hardest challenge you faced as a designer? Imposter syndrome, 100%. I think a lot of you will say the same. Imposter syndrome is something that I never really got over. It's very hard to get over it. And I'm starting to, like, I feel like the last 6 months or so, I've really gotten stronger at like client interactions and stuff. And just kind of feeling like I'm the one that they're hiring, right? Like I'm not like being... You know, like they want me, they want Elliot, and because I've got that audience now, and I think they do want my style and my work, so I need to kind of like think that, you know, I'm not competing with 100 other graphic designers for this or anything. Like this is like, you know, my work that is being paid for, and that's pretty cool. So getting better at it, but it's still a very hard thing. I've also had some rough clients in the past, but imposter syndrome is always a tricky one, but with confidence and time, anyone can do it. Yay! In your opinion, what's the number one thing to do to improve in design? I think it's confidence, and this is a weird thing. A lot of people think, you know, get your skills right and all that, start working on your skills on Photoshop and whatever. But I think it's confidence. I think with confidence, you can do anything in design, and you'll start making some work that like really kind of is self-expressive and is cool and experimental and fun. I think a lot of people kind of think like, oh, I just have to kind of do what the client wants me to do, and just, you know, that's graphic design. It's just always going to be working for a client. But no, have confidence in yourself, right? Graphic design isn't one of those careers you just fall into. Yeah, I like to say this a lot. It's not a career that you fall into. It's not like a backup, I feel. Like it is a thing that you enjoy and that you want to do, and so you pursue it. And, you know, go for that, right? Be confident in your ability and be confident that you've worked hard enough and you've worked for long enough doing graphic design, that you're good at it. And if you think that if you've had fun making your work and you've had a good time doing it, then it's good. You can say that. You can confidently say, I had fun, my work is good, I want to show it to everyone. And if anyone says otherwise, they're just one voice in a crowd of bloody millions. Who cares? So yeah, confidence. really feel like that you are a graphic designer, and that's something cool that you can say. So do the thing. All right? Is graphic design completely f***ed? Absolutely, 100%. I think what I learn the more and more I get into the graphic design industry is like there's a whole side of graphic design that I don't like, right? Like a whole side of the industry that I'm just like, no, we don't work here. And I think that's just the people who are so convinced that graphic design is like this thing that we must protect and we must gatekeep and we must care for so much, and it's so important that everyone thinks the same way about graphic design, otherwise my job means nothing and we're all just artists. But yeah, graphic design's chill, right? I think it's super chill. It's a lot of fun and people are cool and they're nice, and I think that as soon as you start taking it super seriously, you lose all the fun in it and it just becomes like another job. And like I said, this isn't just another job. This is a hobby that we turned into a job, and that's why it's cool. So I think, I think people just need to stop taking it so seriously and just kind of loosen up because it really is a lot of fun. And people can do whatever they want. Let people do whatever they want, right? Let people design in Microsoft Paint. Who cares? Let people use Comic Sans. Who cares? It doesn't matter at the end. When you feel like creating but don't have any ideas for content, where do you get inspo? This sounds weird, but my own work, funnily enough. I think I like looking back at my old work and kind of saying like, yeah, this was cool, this was enjoyable to do, I want to go further down this track. I do, right? And you kind of like look at some gradient thing that I've made and I'm like, I reckon I could do that again, but 10 times better, and then I do it, right? I think that's what it is. The wording of the post is what's harder. I can't really go back in my old posts and like, kind of see a joke and then be like, oh, maybe I could do this again in a different wording or something. I don't really feel like doing that. I like coming up with a new joke every time. But it comes from just like day-to-day experiences in design. I have a notes pad that I write a whole bunch of stuff down on. Bless that notepad on my phone. But it's tricky. Inspo is a hard thing. My Instagram save tab is packed, and I'm starting to kind of get back into Pinterest and a few other things. But nature, the world around you. Did you know there's a golden ratio and everything? No, screw all that. Just, I don't know, what I have fun with. And then I just keep going down that road. Do you consider yourself an artist doing design work or a designer doing artistic work? This is a great question. I actually don't know how to answer this one because I feel like I'm a bit of both. I don't really see myself as, like on Instagram, I'm listed as art, and that was so I could try and get verified. Didn't work 5 times. It's like I would say primarily, like I grew up doing art, and I think this is my way of continuing that without stopping doing art. So I'd say I'm an artist first, but I'm also very much a graphic designer. I don't know. I very much hand in hand. I think there are huge differences between an artist and a graphic designer, but I think there are a whole bunch of similarities too, and a lot of things that unite those two professions. And I think at the end of the day, I'm going to call myself a graphic designer. I think I speak for graphic designers in my posts, so it'd be like, I wouldn't be doing great service to them if I said I'm an artist. So yeah, I'm a bit of both, very much so. Do you think as designers we've become too self-reflexive or too self-aware? Whoa, packed question, kind of. It's a great question. I think so. I think we've 100% become too self-aware, almost. It's like, it feels very divided, the design community, and it feels like there are the people who just design and then the people who are kind of like very self-aware about it, and I very much fall into that category because I'm kind of like, the work I post is very self-aware, obviously, and it's very critical of the industry, and I kind of just like, trying to look at it from a ironic kind of like out of the world, I'm trying to distance myself from it in a way, and then comment on it. But yeah, I think it's if you think too much about design and you think kind of like about what it all means and like what the differences between design and everything else and what it means to be a designer and stuff, I think it just kind of takes away from the point, which I'm falling into I'm being self-reflective right now talking about it. But I think personally, graphic design should just be like a form, like art, essentially a form of expression, right? I think design is best when it's a form of expression and self-expression. I think that's where you get the coolest and the best work. So yeah, I think it's important to kind of be aware of like not becoming, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. This is a very good question. It's gonna be thinking. I'm gonna think and make a whole video on this, a video essay. No, I'm not. I'm gonna make another design with Elliot. What does your day-to-day look like? Freelancing, projects, general life stuff, etc. Ooh, not very well organized or anything. I actually bought this weekly planner the other day from Jumbo Press, which is a super cool design print kind of studio place. Houses a whole bunch of artists' works. It's sick. I got this weekly planner that I started planning stuff on. This was last Tuesday. It's Tuesday, the day I'm filming it today. So I obviously stopped after, I got 2 good days. 2 good days of weekly planning. I'm not very good at the whole planning thing, especially kind of working for yourself gets a bit tricky. But I try to wake up at like 8 a.m. and then probably get out of bed at like 9. And I go to sleep at about 2 if you want to bookmark either side of it. And then I make breakfast and I will try and do some work, and I do some work for my Patreon people. I do some stuff for the Instagram page. And then I kind of like, what I try to do now is dedicate certain days for certain things. Like Monday is my YouTube day, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I stream, and then I'll do things like Tuesday's my Instagram day. Wednesday is like the chill day because I've got coaching in the afternoon, the job that I told you about. And then Thursday is like video, like TikTok day. Almost like this was the ideal plan, and it's kind of gone out the window a little bit. But it's a bit all over the place. But it's fun. I still see a lot of people. I still get out when I can. I'm a party guy. You guys know me. I love to party. Bloody love. I'm always out. I'm always out. Very popular, obviously. I'm a graphic designer on Instagram. When is a design truly finished? When you get paid. No other answer for that question. When would you suggest is the right time to start a Patreon? Ooh, okay. So I think with a Patreon, you need to put a lot of time and effort into thinking about you want to perfect those tiers, and you want to perfect the structure of it, and you want to make sure that it's good to launch so that you have like a heap of content ready to go for when you launch so you don't disappoint, right? What I've learned about Patreon though is that a lot of the people who sub to me don't even realize they get benefits, which is very funny. They just want to financially support someone, an artist, and that's sick, right? So I think like starting it whenever is fine, but I think like kind of building up to this big launch and having these benefits ready to kind of convince more people than just the ones who like purely just want to support, the ones who are actually kind of like in it for something. Doing that big launch is super cool and super worth it. Here's a tip for anyone looking to start a Patreon. I had a call with someone from Patreon a long time ago. And this isn't word for word, but they said that like it's when you in terms of like getting your followers to find out that you have a Patreon, right? Don't be put off if the first like 8 times you post about your Patreon, you don't get many responses, right? And you don't get many signups. Yeah, it's like then like it takes like 10 or something. Like I forgot what the actual number was. I'm pretty sure it was 12 or 9, one of those two. But I found that like I started when I started my Patreon, I had about 30 in the first week or something, and I was like, yeah, this is sick. And then like it kind of just like the more I talked about it, and I was super on top of talking about it. Like every single post had it in the caption. That first month was huge, and I kept pushing it to my Twitch, to my Instagram, TikTok even got a shout. And then it ended up getting to what it is now, which is like 150 at the time of filming this, which is huge. And I love them all so much. I love my Patreon people. They're the sweetest people in the world. Link in description if you want to join them. But yeah, it takes a lot. You got to really plug it. You got to plug the hell out of it. And then people will finally kind of swipe up, or they'll check your link in bio or whatever it is. But yeah, I think go for it. Go for it. Any skill, can be design related or not, you would want to learn. Oh, I've always wanted to learn piano. I played bass guitar for like 7 years going through like primary and high school. And then I stopped at the end of high school, which was a real shame. And I would love to play it again. But I also did a little bit of guitar, but piano was always that one that I was like, oh God, like I don't want to be that guy. I want to be that guy who like goes over to someone's house and is like, is that a grand piano? And they're like, yeah, of course it is, but I don't know how to play it. And then I'm like, I do. and then I start playing the piano and like play Bittersweet Symphony or something, like make everyone cry. Like that's kind of the dream, if I'm being honest. That's the dream. And I have always wanted to buy a keyboard or a piano, and I never did. But one day, maybe the next Sydney lockdown. We're weeks away. Would you ever shave your head? Absolutely. Much like the piano, I've been wanting to shave my head. Oh, so bad. Like for the last year. And it's getting real, like we're getting real dense here. This is what happens when you know, all the hairdressers are closed here. It's getting long, getting really long, and I want it off. I want it all off. And my twin brother, because of course I have a twin brother, he shaved his head and he looked okay. So I figured that I could do it. But also, you know, innate twin thing of not wanting to look the same as your twin. So maybe if he grows it out, then I'll shave. Maybe only one of us can be shaved at any given time. Maybe that'll be a fun thing that we do as twins. Maybe that'll be a little twin joke, like little monkeys in a circus. Wouldn't that be fun for you? Any big future plans? Yes. I can't really think too far into the future right now because of COVID in Sydney is kind of like locking everything down. But now that I'm double vaxxed and I kind of like think travel's opening up, I would love to travel. I'd love to go to the States. I've been there before and I absolutely loved it. New York, it's a hell of a town. You know what I mean? Already got the accent down. And I love Broadway and I love the theater, so I would love to go over there. But I've also just got like what I've, you know, kind of learned through starting these online communities and these channels and stuff. It's like I met a lot of really cool people. Like I've met some cool people, like some real, like I've met some big names virtually, and I'd love to meet them in person. I think that would be really fun. I'd love to do like a meetup as well, like silly things like that, because like most of my audience is from the States anyway, so like going over there could be fun. I'd love to do Europe, love to go to Japan. Oh, I think Japan's one of those things for people in Australia where it's like, it's so close, it feels so close, and it's like, oh, it's so cool, you know, I want to go. And it's always quite cheap to actually fly. Like they usually do deals. I'm rambling about this, but I would love to go to Japan and New Zealand. I love New Zealand. I'm relatives in New Zealand, so I'd love to go over. That's just travel though. In terms of like design stuff, I'd love to like do some talks. I think talks would be really fun. Like at cool design conferences. I think those would be very funny. I think a lot of designers don't know how to public speak, and I would love to get up there and just have a laugh and like not teach a thing and just laugh. That would be fun. And then I'd love to set up merch and stickers and stuff, but I just can't. Oh, I'm so bad at doing production stuff, so I stop. But hey, if you're out there, if you're a sticker store or if you're a print store and you're watching this, hit me up. You know what my Gmail is. Go on. Watch this space. Big plans for the future. YouTube is the future. And that's it. Look at all those amazing questions. So many questions. Thank you all so much for sending them through. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours. We might do some of this in the future. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see this in the future. And also, if you have any questions in the comments that I might not have answered, I'll go through in the next few days and answer a few of them that I see that stick out, or all of them. We shall see how much, if I have time. Because I'm a busy boy. You know me. I'm a busy guy. I'm potentially moving. So that's exciting, but could take up a lot of time, so we shall see. A big thank you to the sponsor of today's video, ReadyMag. ReadyMag is a design tool for creating websites. You don't even have to download it. It works right in your browser. It has an intuitive drag and drop editor, meaning you can add whatever you want to your canvas, design with any layout you can imagine, and publish it online with just one click. In fact, I've started designing my own website with ReadyMag over on my Twitch stream, and trust me when I say this, I am genuinely having such a good time making my own website. There are no layout limitations, no pre-made blocks. You get complete creative freedom when designing with ReadyMag, and that's exactly what a designer like me craves. If you're looking for some inspiration, there's a heap of examples up already on the ReadyMag site, as well as a bunch of templates that you can use so you can get designing straight away. Let me tell you this, I had no idea how to animate on the web. I'm not the best web designer in the world, but using ReadyMag's inbuilt animation tools makes animation so easy, and there are subtle little things that you can do with elements on your website that'll really just spice the whole thing up and impress anyone. For example, check out these cheeky animations that I've got on the front page of my website. These literally took me like 5 minutes to make in total. It was unreal. It was really easy. If you love fonts as much as I do, ReadyMag has over 5,000 fonts for you to use on your site. Now, in the last time ReadyMag sponsored the channel, they had 3,000. That was like 2 weeks ago. They now have 5,000 plus. And you can even upload your own custom fonts if that 5,000 isn't enough. ReadyMag also has a bunch of features that enable you to customize your type in the way that you want to make sure that you get perfect precision and creative freedom when it comes to making your text on your site. There's a bunch of flexible plans that ReadyMag offers as well, meaning that you can choose the plan that is perfect for you and only pay for the things that you're actually going to use. Also, a special little deal just for my viewers, just for all of you. With the promo code Elliot, you can try out the studio plan, which is the plan that I've been using, for only $20. How easy is that? Thanks again, ReadyMag, for sponsoring today's video. If you want to learn more, then you can check out the link in the first line of my description. Thanks, ReadyMag. A quick thank you as well to all of my sweet, sweet Patreon people. All of them that you can see right here. Wow, what an amazing group that we have there over on the Patreon. I recently, as a joke, released a goal. I had a goal for 150 in the month of September, and we hit it. So I released a show reel that I did in 2018. For no reason. I don't think anyone really enjoyed it or found any benefit from it, but I released it. So if you want random things like that sometimes, as well as a whole bunch of other benefits, then go check out the Patreon. We're having a lot of fun over there. The Discord community is unreal. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for sending your questions through. Thanks so much for how bloody cool the YouTube channel's been so far. Oh my God, it's been popping off right now. And it will continue to pop, hopefully. Can we hit 100,000 subs by the end of the year? Wouldn't that be whack? Go on, press the sub button. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next video for another Design with Elliot. Big bless to you all. I've been Elliot. You've been great. Follow me on Twitch for more Elliot. Good night.